This problem asks us to compare two different payment options or two different cost options to rent a car. So it says a rental company offers the following two pricing options for its customers to choose from for a 1-month car rental. So we've got option 1 at $450 for the month, and option 2 is 20 cents per kilometre plus a standard maintenance fee of $35. So our job is to determine which is better, or more specifically, which is better for 1,515 kilometres travelled for the month. So for option 1 and option 2, we need to set up a linear function because that's the best way to compare them. We're going to graph them, and I'll explain why as we do that. Now for worded problems, it's really important to define our variables. So I'm going to let x equal kilometres travelled, and I'm going to let y equal cost. Then I'm going to set up two equations. So when you're setting up the equations, have a look at your numbers. Is it a rate of change or is it an initial value? Well, this doesn't change. This is a fixed cost. So for option 1, I'm just going to have y equals 450. The rate of change is 0 because nothing's changing. So if I do that on my graph, I simply have a line through y equals 450. And you would use a ruler, so your line would be much straighter than mine. Now let's have a look at the second option. We have a maintenance fee of $35 and 20 cents or $0.20 per kilometre. So this one is obviously our rate of change because it changes with each kilometre. This one doesn't change, so that must be our initial value. So I have y equals 0.02x plus 35. Remembering that our general equation is y equals mx plus b, where m is my slope or rate of change and b is my y-intercept or initial value. So let's put that on the graph. Now 35 is a little tricky to find. I'm just going to put it there, and then I'm going to make a table of values to help me out to find my next points. So I've made a small table with x and y, and I'm going to go up by 200s. Now the reason I am not going up by 0.2 is because the question asks me for 1,550 kilometres. So I would be there for a very long time if I go by 0.2, and because I want this large number, the scale on my graph reflects this. So I'm going to go up by 200s and then connect them to form my line. Now I don't need to go all the way to this value that's asked for because I can just extend my line. So how do I get these y values? So you need to substitute each x. So we know that y equals 0.2x plus 35. So instead of x, we're going to put 200, then 400, etc. to find our values. So for 200, it's 0.2 times 200 plus 35, which is 75. So we just put that in here. And we continue. We just keep repeating. So for 400, 0.2 times 400 plus 35. And the same for 600. And 800 and 1000. So I've worked all of those out and substituted them in. Now I need to plot them on my graph. Now remember, each of these values corresponds to a coordinate. So this is 275, our x always goes first, 400 and 115, 600 and 155, etc. So we just need to locate them on our graph. So 275, halfway between 50 and 100, then 400 and 115, just over the 100 mark, etc. And keep going until all your dots are in place. Once you've put all your dots in, you're just going to connect them with a straight line. So let's have a look at answering this question. How much would it cost to travel 1,550 kilometres for option 2 so that we can see which method is better. So if we go to our graph and find 1,550 or 1,550, so we're going up by 100, so this is 1,200, 13, 14, 1,500, and 50 is halfway. So we can draw a line, now you would use a ruler, up to here, and we would find that approximate value. Now it's less than $350, which means it's by far the better option for this amount of kilometres. And we can verify that mathematically by substituting 1,550 into our equation. We know it's y equals 0.2 times x, which is 1,550 plus 35. Enter that into your calculator, which is $345. So this option is definitely less. We would have to travel many more kilometres, as you can see from the graph, if this continued, before we hit the $450 mark. And then after that, option 1 would be better value. But for the answer for this question, it's definitely option 2.